Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a magnetic excursion update Friday, October 11th, around 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 2024. Naked eye comet will be visible starting tonight. All you have to do is look west at sunset, and it's going to be rising higher and higher into the air as we progress through the week. We also have a geomagnetic storm that is now over, but the aurora was epic. Keep calm. It's boom time. Well, the first big story we're going to talk about is Hurricane Milton. As Florida cleans up from Milton, flooding remains a threat. Floridians are picking up the pieces after Milton cut through the state, battering it with deadly tornadoes, historic rain, and high winds. Well, the tornado damage alone was record-breaking. The storm, according to CNN, was supercharged by climate change, but there is no data to support that. It is simply an opinion. The bad news, at least 17 people have died. Ongoing flooding from Milton's deluge has caused numerous rivers to swell. Rescues are still underway, with officials warning that floodwaters in some areas have not receded yet, as the water slowly drains into the Gulf of Mexico and Atlantic Ocean. Electricity is being restored, but more than 2 million customers in Florida remain in the dark. Let's check on those numbers. The latest numbers from Power Outage US showing 1.94 million without power in Florida, still 40,000 without power in North Carolina, weeks after Hurricane Helene decimated that region. The Florida numbers should gradually reduce as linemen get in there as the waters recede, but still 2 million people without power in Florida. And the claim that this hurricane was supercharged by climate change is ridiculous. It began as a Cat 5, it made landfall as a weak Cat 3, only had maximum sustained winds at 115 miles per hour at landfall, and the whole back end of the storm was without moisture. If you look at the global major hurricane frequency since the 1980s, you can see a peak in the 90s here. We've been dropping off in hurricane frequency and severity. There is no trend upward. It has nothing to do with CO2 or fake man-made climate change. And here's the full forecast. River flooding lingers in Florida following Milton. Gusty winds bring critical fire weather to the Great Lakes today. Moderate to major river flooding is forecast through much of Florida through the weekend in the wake of Hurricane Milton. Dry, gusty winds ahead of a cold front crossing the Great Lakes will contribute to elevated critical fire weather today over parts of Michigan. Further west, this front will press across the Central Plains on Saturday with possible critical fire weather. Now, the good news, and Al won't be pleased, is that there is tons of snow in the forecast. Shut up, Al! Get in your hole! Al Gore is not happy with snow in October. So let's walk the GFS through here. In the next few days, Eastern Canada, even New England, is going to be picking up some of the first snow of the season through October 15th, Tuesday. Take a look at that. Tuesday is your lose day, New England. Good news for the ski resorts. And then by next week, take a look at the West, dropping down through the Rockies. Through mid-October, we are going to be seeing some spectacular heavy totals in the mountains well ahead of winter. A La Nina winter indeed, and snowpack galore. Seismic update. No quakes of note, normal activity worldwide. Worldwide volcano news, Sabancaya today, first on the list, 21,000-foot blast. Swanos-Hema volcano, a 6,000-foot puff. Fuego to 15,000-foot, Ibu to 8,000, Manam 8,000-foot blast today, Liwatobi to 10,000, Popo on the list, Nevado de Ruiz 22,000-foot puff, Semaru to 14,000-foot, who knew? Now you do. We've got Sabancaya to 21,000, Fuego to 16, Swanos-Hema 6,000-foot blast there. And we've got Nevado de Ruiz sporadic emissions of volcanic ash wrapping up the list. A quick look over at space weather, and flaring is continuing in the M range. Just no X flares. But the long-awaited geomagnetic storm has come to a close in the last 9 hours. We're now down to KP3. Telemetry is still spiking up high here. We've got plasma speeds in the 700 kilometers per second range, but the BZ has returned to neutral. Any push south of the BZ, we will go back into geomagnetic storm, but that's not expected. It was a major display across low latitudes, and some people saw aurora that have never seen it before, like myself. This is a shot of the aurora around 8 or 9 p.m. last night over Pagosa Springs. Thanks to my good friend Jason Carr, who took this shot. It appears from Reservoir Hill just above the hot springs. Now, we saw this vivid aurora all the way down here, 20 miles south of there, at our ranch by the naked eye. It was absolutely stunning and spectacular. And many people around the world saw similar stunning effects. If you follow our Twitter or X feed here, Oppenheimer Ranch Project at Diamond the Dave, you would have seen some of the spectacular aurora footage that we posted earlier today. And it was incredible in Norway. They were at ground zero for the geomagnetic storm last night. And the interplay of the magnetic fields and the plasma entering our Earth's system was gorgeous, spectacular, well, and quite telling. Aurora as far south as Key Largo. This is the second time this year that Key Largo saw aurora. This is all clear evidence that our magnetosphere is breaking down. Now remember, this is Nebraska from an airplane. Multiple colors in Nebraska. All evidence of a weakened magnetosphere. All this was caused simply by an X1 solar flare. That's it. And it sent aurora all the way down towards the equator. That is all the evidence we need. And not only do we have rare aurora at low latitudes from small X flares, but beginning tonight, we have a rare comet that may be visible in New York, New Jersey, well, anywhere in the lower 48. All you have to do is look west. Even Texas, the nexus of the Schmexus, will be able to see Comet 2023A3 Chuchuslan Atlas. This is the sun-diving comet we've been showing you on LASCO C3. And here you can see the comet in question that will be visible at sunset for the next week or longer, coming into play here on LASCO C3. And in my opinion, glitching out the satellite and actually forcing these coronal mass ejections from the sun. There is definitely an interaction here between the comet and the sun, in my opinion. What are your thoughts? Please leave a comment below. The largest storm in our solar system, not a solar storm, an actual storm on a planet, in the atmosphere is moving unexpectedly, according to scientists. You're looking at images from NASA's Hubble Space Telescope capturing changes in the shape of Jupiter's long-lived storm called the Great Red Spot. And this is over the course of 90 days. Some say that this is the scar of the planet Mercury or even Venus leaving the core of Jupiter during a catastrophic reworking of our solar system. Now, NASA partner says alien announcement to come within weeks, as he claims we found it. Professor Simon Holland says he has seen evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence in the galaxy, and that it could be confirmed within weeks as two rival groups of astronomers race to publish. British academic Professor Simon Holland, who has an extensive experience in collaborating with NASA on projects such as tracking Earth-threatening asteroids, is convinced he's onto groundbreaking revelations. Speaking to the Mirror, Holland revealed, "We have found a non-human extraterrestrial intelligence in our galaxy, and people don't know about it. According to the professor, insiders from Mark Zuckerberg's breakthrough Listen project have tipped him off that there could be news breaking within a month potentially, timed with the U.S. election buzz, suggesting concrete evidence of alien life forms. Is this too much to believe, or is this the October surprise? Now, surprise, surprise, the World Climate Declaration. There is no climate emergency. The entire 63-page PDF will be linked below. It has 1,952 signatories from around the world. Well, guess what? They just got another one, and we've been confirmed as the 1,953rd signatory. And this is what they write. Thank you for your trust in Clintel. We will add your name to the list of U.S. signatories as follows. David Mariello, a.k.a. Diamond, geologist, researcher, and public speaker against the corruption in science, government, and the media. How do you like them apples? And if you want to know more about the biggest topic on the interwebs in the last few weeks, what is geoengineering and why should you care? Lee and I are going to break it all down, all forms, all types, and what's going on with the weather. Can we actually steer a hurricane? Well, no, it's impossible. And if you want to know why, join us tomorrow and find out how much energy a hurricane actually releases. It will be on Revolution Radio in Studio B, noon Mountain Time. Just hit play, and if you miss it, you can rewatch on Magnetic Reversal News, 8 p.m. Mountain Time tomorrow night, and that's a boom to knowledge. Please share this video. We are shadow banned. We need your help to grow. Become a Patreon. Support the work we do. Watch all of our podcasts in one place, commercial free. And if you haven't seen it, well, Ransom Godwin, Mountain High Time, and David Dubine were on Tim Pool's channel, Timcast, earlier today on the Culture War discussing geoengineering. I thought Ransom and David handled themselves well. They had great arguments, but the show tomorrow with Leah and I will contain less gobbledygook. And that is a boom indeed. Please hit the thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. We love you. Be safe. And we'll see you all tomorrow on Revolution Radio.